Hi, Gilmore. This is Hitesh. Firstly, congratulations on the book. And as an OD student, this book for me couldn't be more timely. So thank you for that. And
My
the
pleasure.
question to you, the question to you is both Sanjay and me were discussing in our breakout rooms on T groups that you had mentioned earlier. And we were very curious to know, in the current environment where organizations operate in a very agile and high expectation mode, can we really do justice to the T groups in the current organization setting? And if so, how can we kind of go ahead with that? So yeah, thanks.
Sure. Well, so first thing I want to do is now I can only see maybe 25 of you at a time right now. We've got, a couple screens going here worth of people, which is great. But raise your hand if you found the breakout room conversation stimulating. Just raise your hand. Okay, so there's, maybe 2/3 or something of the hands went up there. Maybe more. Okay, and so group dynamics is to allow people to speak, and we're in a situation now where the size of this group is so big that it's just not practical unless we go back to small conversations again. And so if you want people to be alive and to really learn, you have to figure out ways to increase dialogue. And T groups is a way to do that. Now, this isn't a T group, but I would say a couple things. Mr. Kamdar, is that correct?
Yes,
One
Gilmore.
is, people have been frantic for a long time in organizations, pressured, anxious, trying to, get things to happen fast. So don't panic and get caught up in that. It's, of course, you want to help things move forward as quick as you can, but the sort of myth that somehow we have to move faster and faster and faster is actually one of the problems. That's a restraining force. Friedman, who's one of my sources, he was a family systems therapist, called it being chronically anxious, and said that a dysfunctional behavior is quick fix thinking, where people are trying to cram in solutions and trying to do them without enough resources, and then fail to get the results they were hoping for, and then they blame the solution instead of recognizing what, as Friedman put it, you can't make a bean grow by pulling on it. You have to give the right amount of time, the right amount of resources, the right amount of sunshine, the right amount of water to things if you want them to actually happen right. And there's no perfect answer for how much is the right amount, but in most places, people are doing too much, and so then they're doing it poorly, and then they're upset with each other and embarrassed, and there's all kinds of covering oneself to try not to get blamed, and so helping people be honest about, well, what do we really need to do this right, and how much time is an important function. And then T groups can help people have those kinds of conversations. So it's And right now, what I've discovered is that you can do these things online, which is, pretty astounding, really. So Kurt Lewin never got to do a virtual tea group. But all a tea group is that you're talking in the moment about, well, how's this moment working for you? Are you getting what you want right now? And if you want something different, what's your own restraining force, in a sense? And what's your emotion about what's happening between you and the others? You're talking about what's really happening in the group that you're in a tea group, and learning from that. And so it's, I think everybody should be in a tea group at some point in their lives. And it used to be that OD people, all the OD people were in tea groups before they did OD. So that you would learn to pay attention to your gut when you were in a meeting with the people you were trying to help. And you would learn to check whether or not you understood what somebody else meant. Because the process of understanding is fragile. It's easy to misunderstand. So if you get a chance to be in a tea group, I highly recommend it. And, whether or not you ever help other people or organizations do it, there's only one way to find out, I guess, but it's not the simplest thing to convince people of.